Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Here's another week in review. This past week I read a little bit of 2001 A Space Odyssey by Arthur C. Clarke. Last week I got through the prologue, so now I'm actually reading about this guy flying to the moon. Nothing's really too much happened so far. It's just setting up that something is going on the moon. I also read a chapter of The Color of Money by Walter Tevis. Now, for this one, it is completely different from the movie so far, The Color of Money, which has Paul Newman and a young Tom Cruise. The main issue with it is there was a really abrupt sex scene kind of in the book. The character Fast Eddie, he goes to get a massage and it's a naked massage and the woman is rubbing him and then it talks about how he gets, hard. And then he just abruptly says to the woman hey, let's F word. And she says oh, I'm not interested in men. And then he kind of is well, so what? Let's F. And it's just makes the guy immediately completely unlikable. And then basically he says, oh, I'm Fast Eddie, I was a pool player. And then she's like, oh, my dad used to talk about you. So of course she services him. And it's just disgusting. I also read the end, I think it's of the first chapter of the Chaneysville incident by David Bradley. Now, I was kind of a little bit leery about this book because I read it a little bit earlier in the week and there was a few pages that had really bad repetition of the word had that were completely unnecessary and could have been cut. And so I was kind of thinking, this book isn't very well edited. I wish I could have done an edit of this book. But then I read it a couple days ago again, maybe yesterday, and it was just really solid, really well written, just real good storytelling. So I'm kind of thinking for this book, regardless of what I wind up thinking about the book, I might wind up having to give it at least 4 stars just purely based on merit, but this could potentially be a 5-star book. We'll see how it goes going forward. In terms of new books, I got a copy of Das Boot by, oh my gosh, I probably can't pronounce his name, Lothar Günther Buchheim. Be a miracle if I pronounce that right. It's not the top 1,000 book, but I've heard good things about it. I'm leery because of the size. It's beyond 550 pages. In terms of writing, I've had a really good couple days working on the Descent of Inanna. A couple days ago, I wrote 4,400 words, which is pretty good for me. About 2,500 words is a pretty average writing session for me. I hadn't written the book in over a week. So to come back to it and write over 4,000 words, that was a real good day. And then yesterday, I wrote 7,700 words, which is a really good day. So now I am on chapter 40 of the book, and I am aiming for 50 chapters. So yeah, that's going pretty well. I am definitely coming into the final stretch of the book. But anyway, that about does it for this week. So thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you next week.